everyone, it's Leo, and in this video I want to share my picks for the 2020 fall anime season, which I am particularly excited for. Actually, I don't think that there is one particular show that is making me crazy about, but on the other hand, I have picked a lot of shows that I at least want to check out the first few episodes or even end up watching the whole thing, because, it's hard for me to finish something. Let's see how it goes on this particular anime season. Well, the first thing I want to say is that since I have picked lots of shows, I want to talk about some of them in this video, which are going to be like the ones that I'm going to explain my picks a little better and mention the other ones at the end. So let's start with the first pick, which is Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, a classic that is coming back. Yes, Higurashi no Nakokoro ni is a very popular show from the 2000s, and I really liked it at that time. I remember when I watched it. It has lots of seasons, OVAs, movies, lots of things, and I don't even know if I've watched all of them, but I know that I watched the 2 seasons at least, or 3. Now I'm confused, but I like Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, and it's receiving a reboot. Yes, the story is gonna get retold with a new look, and I don't know how I feel about this new style. I'm not gonna say I love it, but I'm not gonna say I love the old one either. The old anime, the original anime, is not that beautiful if you think about it, so I'm not really holding my breath over the technicalities of this new season. I just want to see the story, and I really hope that they go quicker to the point than they did in the original one. Even though I like the original one a lot, I promise. The original anime was done by Studio Dean, which is now working on Sailor Moon Eternal together with Toei Animation. Well, actually, I think they've already worked on it because I think the movies are ready. But this new season is going to be done by a studio called Passione. Passione. I'm very bad at Italian, so I'm not really sure about the pronunciation of this studio name. And it seems that it's a more recent studio, so I'm very curious to see how things are going to go with the reboot of Higurashi no Nakokoro ni. Reboots are in season. And I'm not gonna lie, I like it. The second show I am watching is Adachi to Shimamura. This is originally a light novel in the GL category. I think it is GL or Yuri. I don't know if Yuri is in disuse, just like Yaoi seems to be in disuse nowadays because we use BL for this type of media now. And I saw on the internet that people call it GL for girls' love in the type of media as Adachi to Shimamura is, so I don't really know. What I know is that this show tells the story of 2 friends, and they are very good friends and they keep on bonding with each other until one of them falls in love with the other. And I'm very curious to see this story because I really like those stories when a teenager starts to discover more about themselves in terms of their sexuality, and I'm very curious to see how this is gonna be handled in this story. So please, no spoilers concerning the light novel. If you read it, I'm going to watch the anime only. If I fall in love with it, I might read the light novel one day, but I'm very curious. I really liked the trailers we've seen for this show. It seems that it's a very simple one in terms of animation, but the drawings and the characters, they're all very cute, and watching the trailers really warmed my heart. This anime is being done by a studio called Tezuka Productions that doesn't do many shows. They seem to have like a very light production number, so that's a very interesting thing. I am curious. Another show that I'm very curious to watch is Akudama Drive, that tells the story of fictional Japan that was in war and ended up divided. And one of those sides has been totally taken by the Akudamas, who are criminals. So, I don't know, a criminal story or a story focusing on criminals. I'm very curious to see this one. But the thing that really caught my attention on this one is that it is written by Kazutaka Kodaka, who is the writer, the mastermind behind Danganronpa. Danganronpa is a series I like, even though I never played the games, but I really like the anime. And I'm still gonna play those games one day. I'm still gonna play those games one day, I promise. And I'm obviously very curious to see this one because this man can write some pretty interesting stories and characters. And this is done by Studio Piero and Tokyo Studios. I hope I said it correctly, but I'm not sure. And now another pick that is making me very curious and excited for is Taiso Samurai, which is not really an anime about samurais. It is actually an anime about gymnastics. So it's my sports pick for this season, even though there's Haikyuu, which I'm going to talk about a little later. But Taiso Samurai is a show about gymnastics, and the trailer is stunning. It is very, very beautiful. And it tells the story of a man who used to represent Japan in international competitions in gymnastics, and he failed. So he was almost retiring until a fateful encounter changes his lives. I just love those type of synopses that tells us a little bit but doesn't tell us much. This is a show that is original. So no manga, no light novel, nothing. We will know what it's actually about when we watch it. And I'm curious, visually it is awesome, at least judging by the trailers, and the story is, or at least can be, very interesting. Another thing that makes me very excited about this show is that it's being done by Studio Mappa, who did one of my favorite shows ever, Sarazanmai, and they also did Yuri on Ice and lots of other great shows. They are also doing Shingeki no Kyojin, the last season. Yes, which is starting to air in December this year. It was postponed because of COVID, and this one I'm not missing for anything. Last season of Shingeki no Kyojin, my heart is gonna break for sure. I've been following the manga kind of far away. It's painful. It's gonna be painful. And now talking about other shows that I'm very curious to watch. The first one is one called Assault Lily Bouquet, and it tells the story of girls who are able to fight against, I don't know what they're called actually, and I don't think it matters. They are like a threat to humanity, and the ones that can fight the best against them are teenage girls. I mean, anime. And those girls are able to use some weapons, and there are so many girls. And those girls are able to use weapons, and they're able to fight against this threat. But it seems, at least to me, that the focus of this show is the legs. Those girls, they have legs for days, they have thick legs, and it seems like, okay, we want to go for that. And that's what they're doing in this, at least based on the trailers. I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not, but I'm gonna check it out. Another one that I am cringely gonna check out is Burn the Witch, which is 4 episodes. I think it's like a movie that's been divided into 4 episodes for Crunchyroll, which is done by Kubo, the Bleach infamous author. One very interesting thing about Burn the Witch is that this show, or actually this manga, is being published by volumes. So we had the first volume being published with 4 chapters or something like that, and now he took a little break, and then we're gonna have a second volume later on. So we don't have a periodical publishing with this manga, which is a very interesting way of publishing, I think. It's very different from what the mainstream authors do. So I like this approach, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like Burn the Witch based on some reviews that I've seen about the manga. Well, I need to have my own opinion. So this tells the story of witches in London, and they need to fight against dragons. So the 2 main characters are witches, and they're going after those dragons in London. I like the setting, at least, and I feel like Kubo can do pretty interesting character designs, even though I don't really enjoy the character designs in Burn the Witch, at least based on the images we've seen so far. So maybe in the show they're gonna grow on me. Let's see. There are other 2 shows that I'm curious for. One is Noblesse, and the other one is Ikebukuro West Gate Park. and I'm gonna be very honest, I don't even know what they're about, but I got hooked on the trailers and the visuals. So I'm gonna watch them. And I just cannot finish this video without talking about Haikyuu to the top 2. I think that's the name of this season, Haikyuu to the top 2, which is actually the second part of the 4th Haikyuu season, right? And I love Haikyuu. The 4th season was arrived, and I cannot wait for more. I just cannot wait for more. I don't know if this is the last season actually, because the manga is over now, or if we're gonna have more seasons down the road to finish the story of the manga. I have no idea because I don't follow the manga, but I hope that this is not the last and we have another one to wrap Haikyuu. And the last one is Hanyo no Yashahime. I hope I said this correctly, which is not really a reboot, but it follows more or less those guidelines of reviving series that are already over and have a big following, this time around with the Inuyasha universe. Yes, this is kind of like a sequel. Lots of years after, we're gonna follow the Inuyasha daughters and the Sesshomaru daughter in a new adventure, and I'm very curious. Even though I haven't finished watching Inuyasha, I think I'm gonna watch the final act so that I can actually, properly follow this new season and see if I'm gonna like it or not. I like the visuals, I like the trailers. Let's see what it holds for us. Anyways, those are the things that I'm watching. Actually, I think I'm gonna watch even more shows than those ones I've mentioned, but the names are escaping my mind right now. But, the ones I mentioned are the ones that I'm most excited for, and they're the ones that I really want to see it through. Maybe, I don't know if I'm going to be hooked up until the end, but I'm going to hold on to those shows if the first episodes are good. And I want to hear from you. Which are your picks from this anime season, or are you just gonna keep watching Healing Good Precure? Because obviously this is a given. I'm not gonna stop Healing Good. I'm gonna keep on watching our lovely Precure season. So please leave a comment with your picks. Let's keep talking in the comment box below. I want to take this little time to thank all of the Magical Cinnamon members. Thank you so much for supporting me. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much for your support as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye bye.